What is going on, people? Triple M back again with another video, and tonight I would like to talk about Portugal and their resounding 3-goal win against Turkey earlier this afternoon, which honestly I thought was a much improved performance by comparison with their game against Czech Republic for a couple of reasons. One, stylistically, Portugal looked a lot more calm, they looked a lot more poised, and I think part of that is because of the fact that Turkey didn't play the same way as Czech Republic. Turkey did not sit back in a rigid, deep, low block. They actually pressed really high up the pitch, gave Portugal a lot of space in behind, and Portugal, all they had to really do was play through the press and then get themselves into the final third, which they did superbly. I think the second reason Portugal played a lot better today was because of much improved individual performances from the entire attack and the defense as well. Shout out to Pepe. He got a standing ovation in the second half when he was taken off for Antonio Silva, when the game was pretty much wrapped up and done and dusted. He was sensational, even for the first goal, right? Bernardo Silva scores the first goal. It was a brilliant transition and counter-attack from Portugal, but that starts with Pepe winning the ball at the back and preventing a Turkey counter-attack, which could have been fatal. So shout out to Pepe, man. He deserves all the praise. He deserves all the positivity. He deserves all the credit for today's performance as far as Portugal are concerned, at least in my opinion. And I think he definitely deserves a bit of recognition because this guy's 41 years old and he's still playing at the elite level. That is sensational, both for club and country. He was unreal. I even remember watching Porto against Arsenal in the Champions League. And even though Arsenal won that two-leg tie narrowly, I thought Pepe was really good in that game. I thought Pepe gave Arsenal some serious problems, and he was one of the biggest reasons why Porto didn't concede more and why Porto were able to keep Arsenal quiet over 2 legs. And again, today for Portugal, he was unreal. So shout out to Pepe, man. Started his career playing in the under-19s in 2001. Fast forward to 2024, he's still going. Unreal performance. Moving on to the attack and the midfield, I thought Bruno had a much improved performance today, linking up for Ronaldo, obviously for the third goal. But beyond that, just showing a lot more poise and a lot more calmness. There is this misconception that Bruno Fernandes is just a lost cause and a player who's incapable of adapting and improving, because there is this misconception in football that once you reach a certain age, you can't learn, you can't adapt, you can't evolve, which I find laughable if I'm being completely honest, because I've seen Bruno Fernandes be a much better player for Portugal for a while now than he is for Manchester United. I genuinely and utterly believe that Bruno Fernandes is a lot calmer, he's a lot more decisive, and he's a lot less erratic when he plays for Portugal as opposed to when he plays for Manchester United. And I think that's purely down to coaching and instructions. It's not like he magically transformed into a different player. No, it's just he plays in a better team when he's playing for Portugal, and therefore he's going to be a much better player. It's common sense, really, as far as I'm concerned. But anyways, moving on, Vitinha deserves a lot of credit. He had another class game today. I thought he was really good in the first game for Portugal, and he's good again. Despite it only being game number 2 of the Euros, Vitinha seems to be someone who's going to be a consistent performer for Portugal throughout the tournament. So shout out to him. Shout out to Polina as well. An interesting addition to the team. Obviously, the 5-3-2 formation, or the 5-2-3 formation, pardon me, that Portugal played in the first game didn't really work well for them against Czech Republic. I think so. Delo getting dropped for Vitinha to come into the team and create a midfield 3 was actually a good decision by Roberto Martinez, because Portugal looks so much better in a 4-3-3. So shout out to Polina. Nothing special about his performance, but again, he did a job. And him being in the team with a midfield 3 as opposed to a midfield 2, I think was much better for Portugal, and part of the big reason why they were able to get the 3 points today and score 3 goals. I mean, one of them was an own goal, but the other 2 goals is what I mean. Another player I've got to shout out is Bernardo Silva. I thought he had a much improved performance from the game against Czech Republic. I think, I can't quite put my finger on it, but he was just a lot better today. He looked a lot better on the eye, and so shout out to him. I'm surprised him and Leao both started, because I thought Roberto Martinez was going to drop at least one of them and put Neto in the team. I think Neto deserves to start. Now, obviously, because of Rafael Leao's antics and poor diving, for the second game in the row, by the way, he's been booked for diving. I think he's going to have to start Neto now, which is a positive. I think if I'm a Portuguese fan, I'm actually low-key celebrating the fact that Rafael Leao is out for the next game. And I'm hoping Neto completely lights it up and then gets a start in the round of 16. To be honest, I think Portugal are a weaker team with Leao starting at the moment, because he just hasn't been at it. There's been nothing about his game that impresses me. He reminds me a lot of Jeremy Doku. Very direct and very effective when it comes off and he has space to run into, and he's actually, in the mood and in the groove. but it's very far and few in between, and I would rather someone like Pedro Neto over Rafael Leao if I'm a Portuguese fan, right? Just as a neutral, this is my honest opinion. I think Bernardo Silva, again, he's a technically superior player to Leao anyways. So if you are going to drop one of them, you have to drop Leao. And you have to put Neto maybe on that left-hand side. That's honestly what I think. So it's going to be interesting to see if Neto does start. I mean, I imagine he's going to start. Who else would he start in the third game of the group stages? But yeah, man, honestly, I've got nothing else to say. It was a very weird game to watch in the first half because even though Portugal were 2-0 up, courtesy of the own goal and the Bernardo Silva goal, it did feel like Turkey were in that game for a very long time. And it was only after the third goal went in that I was like, okay, all right, Portugal got this. They've won the game. It's over, right? But before that third goal, like parts of the second half and large parts of the first half, it felt like Turkey were the more aggressive team, and it felt like Turkey were really imposing themselves on the game. And Portugal just found a way to manage the game and found a way to manage their way through that difficult period, which is a plus. Again, I criticized Portugal a lot for their style of play and their lack of decisiveness and their lack of a plan B in the game against Czech Republic. But today, Portugal have shown me that maybe the style of play doesn't matter. Maybe the fact that they can grind out results is what makes this Portugal team special. And if they can 1-0 their way or 2-1 their way all the way to the semi-final, then into the final, they really do stand a chance. Because at the end of the day, football isn't about looking pretty. It's about being effective and winning the game. That's all that really matters in knockout football, right? So again, I was very harsh on Portugal, and I still think there's a lot of holes in this team. I still think today's performance isn't anything to get overly excited by. However, there are some positives, and I think the one big positive is their ability to manage the game. It doesn't seem like they have a team full of soft individuals who don't know how to win. It seems like they've got a team of players who, even when they're not playing well, they understand the assignment, and that's a plus. That's a really big plus. So we'll see where Portugal go from here, if they can continue to build on this momentum. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. It's been your boy Triple M. Like the video if you want to support the channel. Subscribe if you are new. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace.